What's going on, Marianas? And welcome to another segment of Saipan Supplemental Gardening, where we show you what we know so that you can grow your own produce at home. This segment is about growing lettuce. Now I'm gonna share with you the way we grow lettuce to show you that it's really simple. And although lettuce is a very hard crop to grow here in Saipan, there are a few tricks you can do to get your lettuce to grow enough for you to eat. So I'm going to start with a simple potting mix that you can make using supplies that we find here in Saipan. I get potting soil. We get it at Ace. And no, we're not sponsored again by Ace, but it's one of those really convenient places you can go and get a lot of gardening supplies. So I'm going to be using a potting soil, some steer manure blend, and a simple little pot that I got at I Love Saipan. And again, not a sponsor, but it's really cheap there, $1.99 for a pot, and then you can get a little tray along with it for the same price. They have a lot of gardening supplies there for really cheap. The brand's Daiso, if there's no tag on it, then it's $1.99 for everything. So I'm gonna get started on the mix. So what you want to do is, for your potting soil, you're gonna do 10 to 1 ratio. So you need, if you're gonna do 10 cups of soil, you're gonna do 1 cup of manure blend. And I'm gonna mix it up here in this tray that we got after a party. And when I'm done mixing, then I'll come back to you and show you what to do next. Okay, I'm back. If you hear any strange noises in the background, remember that we are here in at our home, and there's neighborhood dogs, there's our dogs, we have chickens, we have quail, there's all kinds of animals here that are going to make noises. And because it's not curfew yet, we might hear some vehicles in the background, so just don't mind the background noise. So I'm done mixing up my soil. Now what I'm going to do is get it ready for planting my lettuce. And what I did was I mixed 5 of these of the potting soil and half of the manure blend. So it is a 10 to 1 ratio. So I'm going to set that aside, bring over my pot, and fill it up with my soil. Now remember, when I did a previous video, you want to make sure you fill up to at least 1 inch of the top of the container, leaving room for watering. Ooh, it got windy and all my seeds flew. The joys of working outdoors. Like I mixed just the right amount here. Okay, remember the tap tap? Tap tap shake. Tap tap shake. Like I can put a little bit more in here. There we go. Tap tap. And just spread it out. Remember, if you don't have dirt under your nails, you're not a gardener. Alright, that looks good. So, for this pot, I'm going to be using the one that fell on the ground, oak leaf lettuce. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to be using oak leaf lettuce. So, I'm going to actually plant 4 pots, and I'm going to do oak leaf, bib lettuce, red lettuce, and butter crunch lettuce. I got these seeds from various places, and I've had them for a few years now. So we had this huge seed collection that I was taking up way too much space in my fridge, so I started putting everything in these little baggies. So I'm going to start with oak leaf lettuce, and what you want to do is just poke 4 tiny holes in the middle of your container, and you're going to place in, I would say, 4 to 5 seeds, because these seeds are so tiny. And remember that not everything grows, so sometimes you'll have a few duds. And you know what? If they all grow, that's perfectly fine, because you can always thin it out later. And what we mean by thinning out is you're just going to pinch off the extra ones that look kind of sick and keep the healthiest plants. So I'm just going to place about 4 to 5 seeds in each one of these holes. There you go. Probably got 6 or 7, but it's okay. And then I'm going to cover them up really lightly. And then I'm going to use earthworm castings. Now, great thing about earthworm castings is there is a lot of organic stuff in here that really adds nutrients to your soil and is very beneficial for your plants. And I'm just going to do a light sprinkling right here on the top over the entire container. And you know what? Throughout your growing cycle, every now and then you can add a little more. It doesn't hurt. It gives a lot of nitrogen to the soil, and nitrogen is something you really want for leafy greens. Plants that you grow for their leaves really need a lot of nitrogen to grow. So now that I'm done with this, all I have to do is water it until it's completely wet. And usually what I'll do is I'll put it in the sink and I'll just water till the water drains out the bottom, and then I'll put it in its little tray and set it aside. And then every day when you water, excess water will catch in the tray and it'll be soaked up when the plants need it. And that's all you have to do. Oh, one more thing. Gotta make sure I put in my label that this is oak leaf. Now, you know what? You don't always have to label your plants, especially if you're only planting one of everything. You pretty much know what you're growing. But if you're like me, who I like to grow different varieties of things, I need that label on there, because half the time I forget what I planted, and then later on I'm like, I don't know, and then I have to wait till the plant grows. Another thing is you want to keep this in a shady place that maybe only gets 2 to maximum of 4 hours of sun a day, because lettuce is a cold weather plant. It really likes coolness, and here in Saipan we are like always hot. So a shady place where it only gets 2 to 4 hours of sun a day. And you don't have to cover to get rid of bugs. You can always do things like use neem oil and soap water sprays for whatever bugs might be attacking your plants. And that is all we have for you today. Thank you for watching. Remember, like, subscribe, and stay safe, stay healthy. See you in a